Hi all, this is a new video of mine, of me against majnu-schleichnaldo. You might know Majnu from YouTube. He's another chess video maker here on YouTube, and I really like his video. I really recommend his videos. You can learn a lot from them, and he really explains very clear in his videos why he plays something, or why something is wrong, why something is good. So I really recommend watching them. And I wanted to play against him. I thought it would be a good opportunity to learn more from him. In a correspondence game on chess.com we played this game, and we exchanged our ideas in the chat, so we really learned a thing or two from each other, and that's why I wanted to make a video about it for you as viewer to learn as well from this game. Majnu had white, and he played d4, and I played d5, and we entered a semi-Slav defense. And here on move 6 he didn't play the more popular move bishop d3, but queen d2, c2, sorry. On bishop d3, the usual move, black usually responds with d takes, bishop takes, and b5, which is called the Maran variation of the semi-Slav defense, and he's surrendering his d5 pawn to gain space and the tempo on the queen side, as well as making place for the bishop to go to b7, with the idea of later on playing c5, opening the scope for the bishop and attacking white center. Other answers on bishop d3 are taking on c4, bishop takes, and now direct c5, which is tried in a few games by international master Dragan Mareski, and he had some good results with it, so definitely interesting to study. Black also can reply bishop d6 if he doesn't want to take on c4, and after e4, d takes, knight takes, bishop takes, we get a position which is similar in pawn structure as the majnu-schleichnaldo game, so I recommend watching that game to learn more about such positions where black looks a bit passive because white has more space, but is very solid because he doesn't have real weaknesses. But well, I said, Majnu played queen c2, and I answered with bishop d6, a normal developing move, gaining more control over the e5 square. And I played g4, which was a surprising move for me. After some research, I saw it was played by Kasparov, and it's called the Shirov-Shabalov gambit, so it's a known gambit. And of course I could have taken the pawn and accepted gambit, but I didn't dare to take the risk of accepting gambit, which my opponent knew more about than me. So I played d takes c4, and he played bishop takes, and I played e5. So the idea of this is that Majnu started a flank attack with g4, and I want to try to refute it with an action in the center, and this is the normal general rule of thumb, that when your opponent starts an action on the flank, that you should be able to refute it in the center, unless of course when the center is closed, then a flank attack is the correct plan. Majnu played g5, attacking my knight, and I played my knight to d5, and here it looks as if I'm dropping a pawn, but after knight takes, c takes, bishop takes, I have queen a5 with check, and thereby winning the bishop. And if you place bishop takes, c takes, knight takes, I've won the bishop pair. And well, he has his g5 pawn, which is a bit loose, so I believe I had more than enough compensation for the pawn. And Majnu did as well, because he played bishop d2, getting ready to castle, and a developing move. I played e takes d4, and after the normal knight takes, his g5 pawn is undefended, but I can't take it right away, because then there's knight e4, which is very annoying for black. And that's why I castled. Here Majnu decided to take on d5, and after c takes he just played bishop d3. Not taking here on d5, because then I take on g5, attacking his bishop, so I take with tempo. And just bishop d3, and now I have an isolate pawn on the d file, and this means that it normally is weakness, but it also gives you some activity if played well. And normally the side with the isolate pawn doesn't want to exchange pieces, because those are the defenders of your pawn. And if you are playing against someone with an isolate pawn, then your plan is to exchange pieces and attack the pawn with your heavy pieces, because then you should be able to win the isolate pawn. Another idea when you have an isolate pawn is to push it and then exchange it, which isn't possible because it's blocked by the knight on d4. White here is attacking my h7 pawn with his move bishop d3, so I had to play g6, and now, as we can see, my white squares are quite solid, but I might have some dark square weaknesses. Majnu played h4, defending his g5 pawn. I played knight c5, attacking the bishop on d3, and making room for my bishop on c8 to develop, and it's a more active square for my knight, maybe with the possibility to go to e6 sometime. And here in this position, Majnu, according to my database, played a new move, bishop c3. f4 was played in a game by Timur Rajabov, who's a very strong grandmaster against Alexei Shirov, but Shirov won with the black side, so it has been played before, but won by black, so maybe it's a correct novelty. Bishop c3, getting on this diagonal with my weak dark squares. I'm sorry, let's get an arrow up with my weak dark squares here. So, an annoying move. Here I thought of playing bishop g4 first, but because after f3 I have bishop g3, which is annoying for white. And bishop g4, of course, is to stop white from castling. But after bishop g4 there's also bishop e2, and here I didn't saw a clear advantage. I could also have played, let's get rid of that arrow, could have played knight takes d3, winning the bishop pair, and well, yeah, winning the bishop pair, but I didn't thought this would have been very good, because my knight's very active on c5 and his bishop is just biting here and granted with these pawns here. And of course it's exchanging pieces, which I just said, which isn't very good when you have an isolated pawn as this pawn here. So I didn't opt for playing knight takes d3 check, and I came up with bishop e5, which counters the bishop on the diagonal. I believe it must be a strong move. And here majnu castled, and here I came with this exchange variation with bishop takes, and now knight takes on d3, queen takes, and here I activate my my two pieces which weren't very active, my bishop on c8, my rook on c8 with check. So I thought this would have been this was very good for me. And he blocks my check with bishop c3, and now he also attacks my pawn on d5. So I had to do something about it. So I played bishop e4, attacking the rook as well, which moved to f1, threatening to play f3 and then taking on d5. So I had to do something about it. Bishop f3, also attacking the rook on d1. This rook moved to d4, and now I played queen e7, with the plan of playing rook d8 and also putting pressure on e3, which is important, as we will see, because of the rook f4. I played bishop e4, and after f3 bishop f5, and now he can't take on d5, which is unprotected, because I take on e3 with check. So rook e1, and now rook d8. So I believe I have quite a good active position here. And here majnu offered a queen trade, and I accepted. There wasn't a good way to move away with my queen, so I just accepted the queen trade. Now I played rook d7, maybe wanting to double rooks, but after rook d4 he blocked my pawn, and I wanted to get rid of it, so I played rook c4. He played e4, attacking my bishop and also attacking my pawn. Obviously it's impossible to take on e4 with my pawn, so I just play bishop e6, normal move to defend my pawn. He played rook takes c4, and now I do not have my isolated pawn anymore, so I thought I would this is endgame is fine for me, especially with my rook on the open file. And here he played rook d1, and well, after rook takes, this must be a draw, because we have opposite color bishops and an equal amount of pawns. So here we decided we agreed to draw. I hope you learned something from this game. I definitely have. g4 was a novelty for me, new move which I didn't know, and interesting move. Things you could have learned from this game is counter in the center when your opponent attacks on the flank. With an isolated pawn, you should think twice before exchanging pieces, and if you do, it should be you should get an advantage because of it. I believe it was a game of very high standard. It was a nice game, and I enjoyed playing it, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Go and watch majnu's video. Any comments or questions on YouTube? Bye.